Okay, so this is day number 3 of my profit target run. I just started this morning with 52,880 something. I've already placed a 5 contract sell order. Um, it's just around 8, so I don't expect that it'll be particularly quick on the uptake, but yeah, just about $200 away from hitting the profit target, and I'll be going over what we have here, um, and what I hope are the next steps in the process. So I made this sell order based on the trajectory of what we had here, plus there was some strong uh, sell pressure right here. Now it does happen that you know the buyer sell pressure can start to ease off. It can reverse. It can do all kinds of things like something like this right here. Um, Now, provided there's enough cushion, on either side of your account, then you can write some of these things out. I've been able to write some of these out before, um, but I'm just going to see if we can inch our way up to the 53,000 mark. Looks like there's some pressure here for some more selling, so let's go ahead and do a sell 5. And I'm not going with a crazy amount of contracts because I don't want there to be this close to being able to make my profit target and then try 15 contracts and it turns out the market just shoots off into the positive. That 20. And you'll also notice that the blue line right here, and I might change the color of that just so that we can contrast it a little bit. Um, I've found that as it begins to trend closer to one line or the other, then that tends to be where things are going. So let's go ahead and we'll change the color of the ADX, and we'll try and go for something. Should we go for something yellow? I have quite a few yellow lines. Pink? No, that's too close to red. Orange is good. That is good. Let's do that. So right now it looks like we could still see some selling pressure, so let's try that again. And I have the settings set so that my profit target defaults to $50. Um, that gives, I think, a good range of distance from where I'm at. And if I was to do 15 contracts and I wanted to do a $50 profit target, it makes movements very small. The market would have to move very little in order for me to hit that $50 target. You see how we get something like this. Now that's not something you want to see, but that's the nature of the market, and we'll see where we go from here. Now squeezing up a little bit and looking at what the morning's going to be. We have the 8:30 news. No, we have 9:30. No, there's nothing more than the 8:30 news. So take a look here. Got about another 15 minutes or so. Hopefully this will come back down. If it doesn't, then the closer we get to this, the less I'm going to be inclined to trade anything. Anybody who watched the attempt on my first week back in September would have seen that ended catastrophically, getting caught in a news cycle. So over here on the right, you can see that I've got 25.9. Now the decimal points don't necessarily affect too much. I could possibly go in there and type in the numbers. I just needed them to be in the right spot. From the little bit of reading I did on DMI, generally if it's above 25, then that can be considered a good time to start doing your trades, whether it's a buy or a sell above the line. Just been adjusting my high and low indicators because they tend to obscure where the actual profit margin is. Okay, so that clears that out. I'm not sure that I want to do another trade 10 minutes before the news. So what I might do is spend the next 10 minutes going over uh, what things have looked like. So if we look at the performance tab, we see that it's been okay. It's not been, well, the trade win ratio is great, and that seems great to me. You know, this is not so great. Um, it's obvious that, yeah, I might be winning a lot in the small dollar value, but the losses, you know, are knocking that back. Um, the profit factor could be better than that. I've seen typically on my past attempts about a 1 to 2, so about 1/3, and I don't think that's too bad personally. I don't think that's too bad. If we look here, we can see Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. Average losing trade, average winning trade. My best trade was there. My worst trade was that. That was pretty bad. I can't say that Monday was great. You can actually see that number of lots was required because I lost that much. That meant clawing back an awful lot of what I had made or what I had lost. It doesn't take too many, but you can see that a lot of losses happened somewhere in this region. It's not great. It's not great at all. And I think part of what the learning curve was on this is starting so early in the day and attempting to trade. And attempting to trade on hours that just didn't make a lot of sense as far as my ability to trade goes. It's like these are some great tools that they have here on Topstep. But that right there, I believe, is where so much of the effort went in. Trading around this time of the day, not getting things right, and then once 8:30 was past and the market started to become more volatile and provide more opportunities, it became a bit easier. But even like you can see, if we go look right now, in the trades that I've taken, they were very small, and the movement itself was very small, and it looked hit and miss. And if you try to do this for hours and hours, it can be tricky. Trying to figure out, okay, well, can I make a lot off of going along or short? You would have. This looked like it was going up and up and up, and then it just dropped. If I had been in this, my strategy or my logic would have said, oh yeah, go ahead and do a buy. And I would have done a buy, and then I would have sat on that buy for, what is that, 6:30 to just after 7. And if my balance couldn't take it, I would have bottomed out. So there's definitely some work to be done on how I can analyze what I'm willing to do as a strategy. Because obviously I'm willing to write things out. I've done that in several videos, and it doesn't cause me to sweat so much as I'm just sitting there waiting for the market to return to wherever it was going. But that's not great in the long term, because the market could just fall out from under you and, crash your account. So I think there needs to be a lower limit, but I think everybody's lower limit is different. So we'll see how we get there. Even though it's $200 to get to the target threshold, I was going to try going for 500, because 500 is where I want to be daily. Once I have an account that's running, I want to be able to come on, do 500, and then call it quits for the day, and then make that a daily thing, because I do like trading. I know some people have said that you don't have to trade every day, but I do like coming on here and being able to make some good calls and be able to see that I've made some money off of it. So I want to see how I can make that work. But yeah, I think I will try to get to 500. I'll try to be careful, and we'll see how the market reacts to the jobs information or the trade information. So what I found on previous days, 8:30, whether it was news or not, I think certain people are coming online prior to 9:30, which is when the exchange opens, DNSY. And I think enough people are, getting out of bed, getting to the office early, and starting to come online and start making trades at this hour at 8:30, even if it wasn't news. Now, part of what I came to understand was that the Topstep process, initially, a long, long time ago, I had made an attempt my first week to do all 3,000 in one day. And of course, that causes a problem in your trading account, because it breaks a rule. So let's take a look at how that would happen. So here's my account. Started at 52,882, and I'm almost to the goal. I haven't gone below. And then there's this right here. Now, when I first tried, I hit my goal in one day, but of course I completely blew this out of the water, which meant the next day would need to be another 1,500 or so. But there's something else. As much money as you might make in the trading combine, I don't believe that money translates anywhere else. It doesn't move forward with you. You're basically trying to complete a SIM account, and then once you've completed this SIM account and you pay your activation fee, then they ease you into a live trading account. So in my mind, before I knew any better, I was going to say, okay, well, I'm going to start my trading, live trading with like 55,000 or 60,000, and that will give me a good buffer in case of one or two bad decisions. It's not going to go with you. So, hitting the 53, hitting that 3,000, making sure that it's consistent with the consistency rule. That's all you need. Again, the same information that's available on the app is available here. And I'm always looking at these two numbers, average profitability and risk to reward. I'm looking to make this bigger and make this smaller. I'm sure some people are looking at these numbers and maybe thinking they're not great, and I would agree they're not great. So we're at let's see, we're at 8:30. Market's gonna go up and down a little bit. Let's take a look. So I'm going to give it maybe 3 to 4 minutes of some activity, and then I'll start trading on the new direction that it takes. Looks like somebody read something they didn't like. Or maybe they read something they didn't like. So if I'm being cautious, I'll usually do 5 contracts, but if I can see some very strong, large movement, I'll do 15. I'm not seeing that kind of movement though. Yesterday and Friday, the movement after 8:30 was, 10 points, 15, 20 points. And you could make large leaps with like 15 contracts, and that's good. So it seems like it's petering out a little bit. We'll see if it trends up past this point, then we'll take a look here and see if we should start buying. Because the sell pressure has been here and there. One thing I have noticed with the DMI is that it is very sine wave like. You can see where they split apart, then there's that crossover, then they split apart, and there's a crossover, and you can kind of see where the market is exchanging all the orders, whether they were bought or sold. So I think I'll wait another while. We're going to wait until one of these decides to come up here. And I have found that it is probably good practice to wait for the other to get as close to 10 as possible. When I say a 10, how did that line move? Okay, just moved it. It looks like there could be some buy pressure. I'm not going to touch anything until it comes above 25 and possibly close to 30. You can see the general trend of the market has been down since about 8 o'clock this morning. And that is a very strong sell signal. Let's do a 5 on that. Didn't make a lot on it, but I didn't want to risk that it was going to fly off into the wild blue yonder. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to wait for it to bounce back up, and then we'll do the sell again. So that worked out. Um, let's see. And that came up pretty high. Let's try a sell from there. So looks like we hit the profit target. I've decided to tempt things and put one last trade on here. Again, I thought I might go to try to go to 500, but it seems like that might be pushing things. So we'll see if this trade works out, and I'll go ahead and we'll wrap the video, having made the profit target, and we'll be waiting on Topstep to wrap up their end. From what I understand, that typical account page on the dashboard is going to indicate that I can activate the account, and see how that looks. I'll record it, of course. So the cell pressure is starting to flatten out. Eye pressure is starting to come down. See what happens in the next few minutes. Okay, so just playing the waiting game here. One one thing also about Topstep that I'm sure I'll figure out is the contract limitation. According to the accounts that they have, a 50K combine account has a maximum of 5 contracts, I think. So while I've been able to, make large leaps using 15 contracts, I think there may be an upper limit of like 5 contracts per trade. Maybe someone who has already gone through the process and has traded using a 50K can correct me on that. Um, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. 15 contracts is a lot and can push things out of control really fast. As you can see, I'm moving this up and down because greed-wise, yeah, I would like to take the most that I can from a move, but at the same time, if it just dips down a little bit, then it will close out the trade and I can wrap up my attempt for the day. But these are all personality quirks that become a lot more obvious as you trade. So we came in on this trade at 8:43. It is now 54, so 10 minutes. And in using the DM, I've been intrigued by a loss of pressure here. If the opposite pressure is in any way consistent, then just a little loss of pressure here will result in the opposite color coming in. So if there's just a drop in the sales or in the buy pressure, then there doesn't need to be a corresponding push in the sell to make the candle flip. I am going to call that a day because that took way too long. If we go back here, it's probably adjusted the numbers here. All right. So that brings me to a profit target of 3,000. We'll see if anything changes in the account as far as having made the criteria. Again, if we look over here, hopefully that will be green. Hopefully that will be green. And if I understand it correctly, then there will be an option up near the top to activate the account. And then we'll see what the future brings. If you have any tips from being a funded trader yourself, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I like to get into feedback. All right, thanks a lot. Bye.